Henry County Commission, Henry County, Missouri, Tuesday, March 10th, 2016, 15th day of the January term. The Henry County Commission met pursuant to adjournment at the courthouse in Clinton, Missouri. Those members present were Jim Stone, presiding commissioner, Mark Larson, Northridge commissioner, Kelly Merritt, county clerk, absent Jake Bradley, Southridge commissioner. At 9 a.m., Commissioner Stone brought the meeting to order. The minutes from the Thursday, March 5th, 2025 meeting were read. Commissioner Larson made a motion to approve the minutes. Commissioner Stone seconded. Motion carried. Expenditures for the following departments were approved to be paid: Law Enforcement GR, Buildings and Grounds, Court Administration, General County Government Commission, Circuit Clerk, April Election, Road and Bridge Assessor, Inmate Security, 27th Circuit Treatment Court. 9:32 a.m. Darren Huey with Project Homeless attended the commission meeting. He wanted to address the issues that the commission has been brought. Commissioner Stone shared that he doesn't believe the jail is a good fit being right here on the square. Darren shared that the commissioners are the one that came to him about the jail. He didn't seek out the commission. Commissioner Larson shared that a couple of them were working on a meeting with various entities: the City of Clinton, Compass Healthcare, GBMH, Sheriff Aaron Brown, Henry County Health Department, Project Homeless, the Hope Project, Clinton Police Department, Main Street representatives, and the County Commission. He does not want this meeting to be a public meeting, as it just needs to be a sit-down with entities. After the sit-down, when there is a game plan, they could hold a public meeting to inform the public of what is going on. Darren shared that on average they house 10 to 11 people. Out of those, 6 have now found placement. He shared that the solution is getting them the help they need and having a place for them to go and get some structure keeps them accountable. Darren said that he would wait to hear from commissioners about the meeting. Dennis Bowers, Road and Bridge Supervisor, shared updates of what his crew is doing at the Road and Bridge Department. They are currently in the city of Windsor putting in culverts. Commissioner Larson asked about CART contracts and the Booth Road survey. At 9:58 a.m., Commissioner Larson made a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Stone seconded. Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second it. Motion been made and seconded to approve minutes as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, checks.
Small stack. Your stamp of approval, please. Just 9 more months, Jim. That's all it's got to last. 9 more months.
I'm trying to push it out all I can. It's gotten pretty messy. I get more room on me.
Bruce, the agenda was online today.
I see that.
Check before I came out.
I can confirm that and congratulate you for succeeding.
You're running a little late today.
I said, Bruce isn't here to tell me my agenda's there or not. Go check myself.
Yes, it is there.
Okay.
Say goodbye to this. This is our last charter. They had to prorate it. I had to give them a 30-day notice, so we got part of February that was billed on us. But bye-bye charter.
Yeah.
Jim.
Where is that at? Oh.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Charter.
Yeah, the sheriff still has, or the road and bridge still has charter.
Wonder.
But theirs is a lot cheaper than ours is. I don't know if they've got socket out there yet.
Huh?
I don't know if they've got socket out there yet. If it's even available. I can have Chuck check into it.
Check into it. Be better. Good.
And we pay $100 a month out there for internet. So it's not too pricey.
Yeah, well, I wonder what T-Mobile.
We call that T-Maybe in my house.
You don't have good service.
No, well, I don't have it anymore, but no, T-Mobile was awful when I had it.
You know what? I've changed mine last fall. And so far, it's
To
been,
T-Mobile? Really?
and I haven't had any trouble going to Warrensburg.
Come on into Calhoun.
I better go to
But
Calhoun.
that'll change your opinion. My neighbor lady has T-Mobile, and if you will see her standing in her window
Oh,
like
really?
this, because that's the only way she
I wouldn't like that. Now that, I've dealt with enough. AT&T. AT&T got bad.
See, we have AT&T towers right there in town, so you would think T-Mobile would bounce off of them.
I would think so.
You can, there's a dead spot on 52 for mine that it never used to be there. And I had AT&T and I actually switched.
Yeah.
I've got, what is it, Patriot?
Hey,
Two up, yep.
I don't know, since we've changed, it's been
That's good.
good, but
They all have their
But ours,
hits and
all of a
misses.
sudden, it got where whenever it went from like our house down around the farm,
Mm.
once you got down at the bottom of the hill down with Jeff's, you didn't have any service until you got 42 on. It was out just so. And I don't know what happened. It used to not be like that, but then all of a sudden something happened. They changed their power.
I haven't found a weak spot with Patriot.
Yeah.
I haven't found one.
All
I
right.
go from here to Texas, Oklahoma. I haven't found a spot between here and Windsor to go see my mom.
Well,
I
that's
haven't
good.
found
As long as it's working, don't do it.
That's right. I don't, maybe I need to knock on wood.
Yeah, that's right. I tell you what, I used to brag on cars going there, and then all of a sudden it went plop. In Galen, they put a tower up over there on Double A, and that's when everything kind of started hitting. Just all of a sudden. So I don't know.
I even have a hard time in Clinton sometimes, but AT&T will drop sometimes around the square, and
That's right.
but I've also been told that can be a difference between the phone too, like Apple versus Android, because
Yeah.
I have
That
a
can
family
happen.
that live in Tightwad and they have AT&T and they have Apple phones and don't have an issue. I have Android and have an issue.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so that all goes.
That's all the bills.
Okay, you're up.
Oh, good. I just popped in real quick to see about, I have a question about the old infested asbestos jail.
Yeah.
Is there any, I think, was there minutes read or something?
Yeah, that was last week. We talked to him about it.
Okay.
I made him. I don't think it's a good fit right here on the square because we had a lot of them back when they was talking, but they was going down cycles of cream, was hanging out, and since then I think I don't know. They've got and Darren was in, and they had 5 or 6 that they got off the streets, but I think those is local maybe. So I don't know, but the others I haven't seen them around here. Like, there's one I noticed there's one out there at Walmart there last week, but other than that, but that's all that's been done so far.
Well, the reason why I'm asking because I haven't heard anything about it. If there's been any meetings, or if there's going to be any public meetings, or what was going on. Because I know when I come into town, certain things in the square that I go to, doctors and crap, they're still not happy about it. So I was like, well, maybe now's a good time to come in and just ask if there's anything about that.
There is going next 24th Tuesday. There is going to be a meeting, but it will not be open to the public. Basically what it is, I've gotten a hold of probably 12, probably 8, there's probably at least 12 different people from different entities. Sheriff, police department, Compass, Darren. I've got a list and I just can't remember all of them right off. Basically what the issue with a lot of this is there's so much information being put out there and half of it's not right. So my thought was, and we've said this a number of times as commissioners, we really don't have any authority over that because it's in the city.
Right.
But I thought, well, at least, because it's just going on and going on and going on. It's going to be an issue. I mean, everybody, the one thing I will say, it is going to be an issue. The day and age we live in, homeless is coming. It's coming to small towns. It's already in big towns. So I would prefer, and like I don't have any control, but I would prefer at least to help and to get out in front of this. I think, because there was some things that I had found out that I was not aware of how this actually worked. So I was kind of 100% against it in the beginning. The more that I found out, I don't think we really have an option, being brutally honest. It if they're going to keep coming, we've got to have a funnel of some type, whatever that may be, that's going to get some of them off the street, or we're going to have a whole lot of them here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to get people in a room that had knowledge about this, people that had actually control of what they could do with it. I've invited the mayor. I talked to Christy last night. She's actually going to be on vacation, so she won't be coming, but someone from her office will be there. I have tried to get hold of city administrator.
Well, they be City Compass Health. They're going to come.
Yeah. But anyway, basically,
Hospital.
I want to sit down with everybody and let's get a game plan. Let's everybody find out what everybody else knows, because some of the issue is what Dennis knows, you don't know, and you're all working toward the same goal. So let's get this all together. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's see what options we have legally, because you're going to have to do this in a way that you don't violate somebody's rights. Robbie Hills is coming. CIT, they're coming to it. So basically, and as far as the public, because I know it kind of sounds like, well, you're not involved in the public. We are. But for me, since I kind of worked on getting this set up, what I wanted to do, I wanted to get all the facts, because what I don't want to have happen, and I know it would, and I totally understand, I totally get it. If we get the whole public in there, then I'm going to get opinions from everybody in the public, and everybody already knows. You see what I'm saying? I want the facts. All I care about is two things: facts and a solution. That's it. And we may not be able to come up with that solution, which if we can't, then we need to have another meeting until we get this down to the best possible thing that we can actually do, not only for the community, but for the people on Main Street and for the people that are out on the street. So it's kind of a deal where, and I actually sat in a meeting yesterday and I told them, I said, might take a little bit of heat for not inviting the public to this, but put the heat on me because I was the one that chose to go this route. I want to get everything situated before, what are our options from the people that actually know and can actually do anything. I get that the public is concerned about it, as they should be. I would be. I mean, if I lived in here, I'd be concerned about it. But we need to know answers before we just start throwing stuff out. So once we get those, then yes, I had intended on having it. And I told them yesterday, once we know what we're doing, what we can do, what we can't do, then we need to take it to the public and let them at least have a say, or at least let them understand what is actually going on, because there was so much that I had no idea. I mean, it just, because you're walking around, you see people out here, whatever, on either on the streets or homeless. You're thinking, it's going to get worse, and it probably would be if we don't do something. This should have been addressed a long time ago. This is not new. I didn't know Clinton had homeless. And I've said that a couple of times. I mean, I'm on the other side of Calhoun, and I'd come to Clinton for a few things, not a whole lot. But then it seems like it's gotten worse and worse. And now, like right now, you don't see very many of them. But there's a reason behind why you don't see very many of them. I mean, it's the people that are working behind the scenes that are trying to solve this issue. And for me, and this is just me, I want to come alongside the people that are trying to do what they can to resolve this situation. I don't want to put roadblocks in front of them, because like I said, it's the day and age we live in. Homeless it's part of life anymore. It's going to be, and there's not going to be anything that is perfect. It's going to be the best that you can do. And I've said this, I'm 100% on board with that. I don't, nobody wants the homeless on their front steps or in their yard or in front of their business. I get that. That's a city issue. That's a city issue. It is. We don't have anything. Jim, me, and Jake don't have anything to do with that whatsoever. But because of the position we're in, I felt like somebody needed to at least do something, maybe get people together and see what we can do, what the possibilities are. So I don't know if that helps you.
Well, to me, I'm kind of like the solution guy too. If there's an issue, okay, then what's the possible solutions? Well, because everything's about a strategy. So what's the strategy? To me, if it's all so confusing and it hurts a few or hurts anyone that's here paying taxes, then what's the solution? Is the solution going to be, we ain't doing it? Because to me, that would be the solution. We're not participating. We're going to do it like it was done in the 90s. If you come here and you're working and you're doing fine, but if you want to be homeless and be in that lifestyle, because the paper reported it, it's in the paper. They chose this lifestyle. So if that's the case, then you need to move on down the road. And I remember the policy. I used to be here. I was here when they were
I would
sent down the road.
I would agree with you 100%, except you constitutionally, you can't make them leave.
Exactly.
One thing,
But if you don't give them any reason to stay around,
Well, see, now that is actually part of the issue we've also got going, and this was going to be brought up actually in this meeting, but we're on video. I want people to know. You drive down the street and you see a guy standing out there on the corner, and you think, you know what, he looks cold. So I'm going to go buy him a hat and gloves and blanket. What that does, that makes you feel good. That doesn't make him feel good.
right?
And the public has to understand they need to stop that. If you feel bad about that, then my suggestion would be you take whatever money that if you're going to spend $30 on this or whatnot, why don't you give that to one of these entities that are doing something the right way to help those people?
Right.
Because I agree with you. The more you give them, the more they're going to hang out and just live the way
And they're
they
going
want
to
to
demand
live.
it. They
Sure,
think it's
sure.
an entitlement.
Sure, exactly.
Not all of them. But
Exactly.
that's bad enough.
So, but in saying that, you still have the people. There's so many, and this is what I found out after talking to some of the different people that I've talked to. There's so many factors in this. It's not just, oh, he wants to live out of there. No, that's not true. Some of it is drug related.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is the people that just want to live out like that. You've got some of the people that have been on hard luck. I know there's one guy, he actually can go down to Osceola. He can live down there. He's got a place, but he feels restricted. So in my mind, he may be a great guy, but I don't give him nothing. People have got to get to a point. I'll use this. We're in a government area, but it's when you hit rock bottom is when people change. When they can't, they got nothing else in the world.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, yep. I know what you're saying. So, but I do believe that the people that we can help, we should help. Now, how that works, I'm not an expert. That's the reason why I wanted to get the people that have done this, dealt with this, and whatnot, get them all in a room. Let's find out what we can do. And like I said, we want to do it legally.
Right.
Because the first time you cross that line,
right,
you're not going to worry about them
Right.
being homeless because they're going to have more than enough money to have a home.
But and to me, well, I'll throw this out there. If I was going to participate in something like that, I think the scriptures are very clear on it. There's 7 types of people that you should not offer help. I don't know how much clearer than it can be. Scriptures also say, if you're lazy,
If you're a sluggard, you don't help them. No,
You don't help 'em.
I know where you're coming. Trust me,
Okay.
I know where
so
you're
that
coming
should
from.
be the qualifier that
Yes.
should always be in our mind that, if this doesn't work out and there's no way to thread that needle, then let's just end it and move on. Let's move on because we're wasting time, resources just on this illusion of helping when we're their stumbling block. And we could in turn get ourselves entangled. And everything that you're talking about means that's an entanglement that will cross over into dollars and cents on either the burden of the people around here or the county or the town.
Well, the majority,
Either way,
their budget comes from donations. The county's not paying any money. The city's not paying any money. The taxpayers are not paying any money, other
But-
than the people that are putting their money into it,
right.
doing it the wrong way.
But when there's resources called away because they're sitting behind businesses, and then you read about they get mad because they're now entitled to that spot, and then they want to burn it down. Or they're over here in this big building over here that used to be a gorgeous factory, and now they're over there burning and doing whatever. But that's why I'm saying this is such an entanglement.
Oh,
It's
it
very
is.
simple. We just need to walk away from it. That's
But
my
then, let me ask you this, and let's play yours out a little bit further. So we just walk away, and more people come. You got more now. Now what do you do?
well.
Well, if they
You
start-
contact those that are bringing them here.
Nobody's bringing them. Nobody. I'm going to tell you, I thought the same thing. I thought the same. I actually confronted 3 different people about that. They're not bringing them here. What they're doing.
What would it take for you to actually believe that they're being brought here? What would it take?
I probably to either see it or talk to someone that was brought here
So, like a bus driver that comes from Kansas City,
on
That
his way.
has them.
On it. Wait a minute, because I know where you're going with this. On his way to Springfield, they caused trouble and they were kicked off the bus.
where were they kicked off?
Here, right? But see, that's not bringing.
That's bringing them. You can throw them on a pack mule, and that pack mule breaks a leg. They were brought here.
So if I take a bus trip to Columbia myself, and I decide to be a jerk, and they drop me off in Boonville, that's the bus drivers, or that's whose fault is that? How does
That-
you
that is
that's no
that is at the okay.
no.
When you go buy your ticket,
Mhm.
okay, you buy a ticket to get on that bus.
Right.
Do they buy a ticket? No, they don't. They're given transportation to go to the next town because of the policies of that community.
Kansas City.
They say, we'll give you a free bus ride.
What
They're not paying for nothing. They have no responsibility with that price of that ticket.
what they
So
are
that
doing-
means they act up. That's on them. Totally on them.
Kansas City is full,
Yes, they are. But that's their fault, not ours.
but Springfield is because they didn't do anything about it.
Right.
Kind of like where we are right now. If we don't do something about it.
Well, and that's why it's
I've heard
very clear.
people say
We let the
we
law,
would like
vagrancy,
to send
enforce the law of vagrancy, enforce the law
It's
of
not a
setting
law.
around and
It's
causing
not a law.
problems.
It is not on the books, Bateman. So I asked the same thing. That's
The
what
guy
I'm
in the
telling you.
city's got to put it.
I know, and that's a city
That's
issue.
all they need to do.
But that's the only way that, to me, if you're going to use the resources and divide it up, Henry County versus the town, Clinton, I got it. I understand the responsibilities. But when we are in the middle of given a resource, a major resource, to perpetuate an entanglement that reflects on the community, that takes away resources, then to me, that means we're not following exactly what the scriptures say. 7 people you're not supposed to help. It's clear. So if the entanglement is there, we just assumed their responsibility. Yeah, we are. And that's the way the law looks at it. If you give them something and a reason to be here, you are in fact by law, you're entangling yourself and everybody else around to be legally liable.
So when this first started, what was the reason for the people to be here? They came from someplace.
Yes, they
A
did.
lot of them came from Clinton. 80% of them are from Clinton.
Okay,
Some
and
of
I
them
get that.
Florida.
Yeah,
A lot of towns are saying, hey, no vagrants.
yeah.
Well, and
I mean,
But they-
I totally get where you're coming from, but I think
well,
once
okay.
you get all the information,
I
and
think
you see this actually, it's the making the best out of a bad situation, because I can tell you, if Project Homeless or whatever, I'm not even sure what they even call it 100%. If they shut the doors tomorrow, people are going to flip out over how many people show up here. And it's going to get, it ain't going to get better. You
And-
know
and
that. It's going to get worse.
I get that. I do. But I'm saying again, and I will always say it, I grew up in a time period where hobos were actually somebody that never asked for money. Nowadays, that's not true. There used to be a distinction between a panhandler and a hobo.
Hobo, sure.
But today, that blurred line is gone. Now, there's very few of them that are actually, and they said it in the paper, this is my lifestyle. And I get that too. My grandpa was a hobo back in the 20s. I love that man to death. He was the best man ever, but he traveled the road. Can't blame him. There was no work. But that's not today. That's not today. We have people in these groups that, if you're going to, I'll say it this way very simply. If you wanted to start a mental facility like they had in the 90s, where these people that were on drugs were on this and went on that until they got rid of the mental institution. But if we want to classify them in the category that will allow a mental facility, perfect. Put it outside the county. Perfect. I would go for something like that. Somewhere not on the square, though. Not around the people, but outside. Just outside the city limits or something. I don't know. Anywhere.
Well, nobody. That's the bad thing about it. People in the cities, people on the square don't want it. The people that are just outside the square don't want it. I can tell you, I live in the county. I wouldn't want it. There is no good place to put
And that's what I'm saying. No good place. That is an entanglement. We just need to.
So then,
I'm sorry,
Then
just-
your suggestion
there's
is
no
just to
solution.
say we don't do anything and we walk away from it,
Yes.
and then we have then when
No,
the issue gets
you
like
enforce
this,
the laws that are current on the books for the county and for the city of Clinton.
I will agree 100% with that. But all I have to do, if I'm one of them, is I can stand anywhere on that sidewalk I choose.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything about that.
Except if you load her and you sleep there and you camp out there. That's a totally.
They're making a whole.
I just think this
I
is
hear
going
one guy claiming it's the law and another one indicating it's not. Which is it?
It's
See
not.
the receipt.
the receipt.
It's not.
My
It doesn't do any
understanding
good
of
to
the
make
lawyer
a
is
comment.
not.
I don't know if it's a law or not. You say it is. He says it's not.
I've heard that from the
I've heard
city
other
attorney.
legal people say it's not.
That's
here
right.
in town.
It's not. It
But I
used to
haven't
be.
actually read
That's what I'm telling you. This is why we need that meeting, because we need to find out what actually we can do. And you heard me say legally,
Right.
because the day you cross that line, the whole thing's
You know-
gone. The whole thing's gone. What they've done is your federal government and your state government have screwed the people. The things that
Yes.
used to take place and were legal and you could do. I mean, if Bruce was a nutbag, I could get him committed. Can't do that anymore. Those days are over.
It's the first time I heard you call that. I've said other things.
So that's what I'm saying. You got to be. I think
Yes.
there is a whole lot of misinformation out there because I was one of them. I'll be brutally honest. I was one of them. I mean, my first time when I heard it, I'm like, well, put him in jail. You know, dude, it's not the way it works. The only thing you can do, and even this is not going to resolve the issue, but if Bruce causes trouble 3 or 4 times, and I'm a police, and I actually take whatever it is, the report that they take. Maybe the 4th time they go out and they arrest him, they put him in jail, you put him to the court, and the court does a mandatory rehab. That gets him off the street, and hopefully that gets him where he becomes a,
Right.
citizen.
Right.
That's what Darren's doing. That is exactly what Darren is doing. That's it.
You might want to
That
check
is
out their second Wednesday of the month meeting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, seriously,
That's
I'm right where you
to
were.
discuss this stuff. That's where
Where's it at?
the Baptist
First
Church
Baptist
on
Church.
Van
Over
Zandt,
here.
North Van Zandt.
No.
The big
Out
one.
here,
On
big-
Van Zandt.
Alpha Van Zant Road.
Oh, yeah.
The big one.
Okay.
Yeah,
You-
that's
seriously,
Okay.
you need to come to one.
We were both there yesterday.
Yeah.
And there were not just Mark, but there was a hospital was represented. Compass Health was there. They could have used the health center, but they weren't there. And a lot of the people that make up this committee at that church there that are involved in doing this, Darren, Huey.
Well,
So you could go and
yeah,
talk to
I will. That's a good idea. But here's the issue. To me, it still boils down to that people that are in a position that want to do something, it strikes home. It's a reason that strikes home to them personally, and they have the best of heart and the best intent. But no matter what it is, if it's political or if it's in a governmental body, it's always based on using somebody else's money.
I agree.
So
I mean,
here's the deal. Let's make it simple then. If you want to help, and if they know that if Clinton is all funded by those that have a heart that want to freely give of their own money, but there's no governmental funds being funneled in that only enrich a very, very few people, then let's get rid of that issue. To me, the issue is there's pet projects, and bless your heart, I get it. We all have them. I'm not condemning none of them. But at the same time, it's always taxed people's dollars that are being used. And to me, that's the problem.
but there's not any.
Well,
There's no,
not yet.
there's
Not yet.
well, and
But I've seen this before.
No, and I trust me, I get exactly what you're saying and where you're coming from. But if you base everything off of, well, this might happen.
No, it's
you
not.
would-
It's
you
not
would-
might. It's
you
not
wouldn't
might.
take into account.
It's not might. It will happen. It will happen. It's not a might. You check everything around anybody that has it. Sooner or later, it evolved over into governmental funds being used.
Well,
Always.
they're already getting SNAP and SSI from the feds.
I know, and it's coming from the feds. And the big portion of that money needs to be drying up. Because to me, it is about the kindness of the people, and people by nature that are in this lifestyle, they will know. It's just like the hobos knew. They had little symbols that this person's friendly. They had a little fish. And they know what townships or cities, or if there's governmental funds, that's like opening up the floodgates to me. And to me, that's the issue. That's the issue. Sooner or later, someone's going to say, hey, I have a smart idea. Let's get government tax dollars and we'll do this and this and this. And then, poof, there we go. And bless their heart, they mean well. They do. But
You know,
they're wrong.
all I can do is base off of what their past history has been,
Mhm.
the success rate, and the way they have been running it, the way they want to run it. Like I said, that meeting will be. I mean, I may find out something that I don't agree with. I mean, I may. Honestly, I don't know.
So will there be a report be given of a
Yeah.
synopsis?
Once, because I made the comment to everybody sitting there. It probably didn't go very well, but like I told you, I don't care about opinions. I mean, everybody's got one.
Right.
That's great. And I understand that, but that's not what this is going to be about. I want facts first and foremost, and then I want solutions. And I told them I don't want to leave there till we at least have somewhat of a solution of what we're going to do. And I was told by my wife that it's not, you ain't going to get it in one time. And I totally understand that. And that's probably wishful thinking. What I don't want is I don't want whatever we do to drag and drag and drag and drag. I want to figure something out. If we figure out there's nothing we can do, then that's what we figured out. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
But it needs to be brought to a head. And actually, I think he's from the newspaper.
Ethan.
He's from, yeah. He's coming. He asked me if he could come. And I said, yes, but I would prefer nothing is said about if we have to have a second meeting, I would prefer that nothing is said until we have our second meeting. I want this handled so that we've got a game plan. I don't want to go out to the public with, well, we're thinking about doing this, or we might do this, because all that's going to do is just fire everybody up with what, once again, their opinions of what they think that needs to be done. I want it from the experts.
I get that.
I want it from.
But I also want the openness, because what I hear is openness. But
Sure.
then at the openness, I want a report that says, you know what, this is it's a conundrum. And for right now, we need to pause it.
Yeah.
I want that kind of solution too. Because to me, that would be honest. If there's a threading of the needle and it makes, and I'm nobody here, okay? But I go into these businesses and they tell me what's going on and all the issues that they've had. And first thing I tell them, have you called the police and made them come over and do a report? And some of them do, but some of them are scared politically.
Well,
See, there's your issue. There is your issue. Nothing is going to get resolved until the people that this is affecting contact the police. And if the police don't do anything, then they need to contact the police again. And that's where the people need to get involved and find out why.
But it's also the fact that they do have civil rights too. So
Okay, but those rights do not trump the citizens.
No, and I understand that. But as a business owner on downtown, that's where we're lying with those issues. Is the city attorney's has stated. Bruce, I believe you were at that meeting, and I know Mark was at that meeting. They do have civil rights, so it is a very fine line that they have to walk. And also after yesterday's meeting, I emailed Darren and Lori, 2 different buildings and the owner's information that they would have the least resistance for rezoning and probably a better success rate of securing those properties, because I know the intent with the jail is it's great and everything, but when you go 185 feet around that building, how many of those residents are going to come forward and protest against it? And then it has to go to Public Works,
Planning Commission,
and then
Public Works,
So
Public
another
Works.
entanglement.
then City Hall,
and then City Hall.
that doesn't work out. It goes to the adjustment board.
Yeah, so
Right.
The only
it's gonna have
question
to go.
I'm good. I'll be brutally honest. I'm good wherever it is. I just don't want to put a roadblock in these people's way.
No, and I don't think
Because
I'm telling you, this county needs it. 100%. Now, if there is some place that is going to work out better, hey, I'm going with it. Honestly, this doesn't affect me,
Well, and I think
guys.
if they're calling it the homeless shelter, because I really don't think that's what their intent is for it to be a homeless shelter. I think it's more of a resource center.
There you
And
go.
maybe that's how they need to refer to it, as a resource center.
See,
But circling back
and
once again,
that's when I said the
Verbiage.
PR.
verbiage
that
is
was
yes.
that was the PR.
Like that
They're
would
doing
be,
a very bad job.
They could still utilize the old jail, but just not for people staying overnight. I think that needs to happen somewhere else because we do have like the car show. Somebody brought up taxes. Like, we have, there's issues with raising taxes and, we didn't raise that because people had issues with it. That's totally different because on this square, I'm not for sure the numbers of how much the car cruise brings in tourism money, Old Glory Days in tourism money, the wine stroll in tourism money. That's a lot of money. If we have them over here and they're coming up on the square where people have gotten that bitter taste, that's a lot of tax dollars our community is going to lose. And also, as it was brought up, they didn't want to use Hawthorne Bank because Every Days is across the street. That's a source of cigarettes, alcohol, and other things. Well, there's a bar not even 50 feet from there.
Well,
You
gotta remember. I don't know.
No, I mean,
you may not have been there yet. They got a $50,000 budget. So what are you gonna buy?
no, 100%.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna buy?
Well, and like I said, I gave them two different like other options of like, hey, I think you're going to get the least resistance. And some of these landlords, they are involved in the community. They might be willing to be like, hey, instead of this amount for rent, we'll donate this portion to this, and we'll donate, then you guys, pay this or find grant funding. But I think, I think it shouldn't be called a homeless shelter, maybe like a resource center of some sorts.
I talked to Darren at the end of the meeting about that. I said, given the PR issue, it would be best not to refer to it as at least this project down here at the old jail as a homeless shelter, because that's not what it is.
Right.
It's a very controlled, I would say it's more than a resource center. It's a live-in resource center for 2 to 3 weeks.
Right. But see, I think once again,
But to me, that's where you get into.
When they first started, 14 days, as long as they could stay there.
Right.
That's what
They
was
have,
said.
they have
Now that's
treatment
been worked out.
compass. They have to be playing by the
I don't
rules,
think it
or
has.
they're out of there.
They're still saying a couple week project. They're not saying they're there forever.
They come down.
No.
It's not.
There's-
But that's what Kansas City does. Kansas City has the same rule. But until they get past their 6 weeks or 8 weeks that they're there, guess what happens to them? We'll give you a free bus ride. Guess where they go? To the next place that has resources. And I'll say it again. It always funnels back to a burden on the taxpayers. I hear it all, but it still funnels back to government funds, taxpayer money, either locally, county, or federal. That's where the money comes from. Now, I bless their hearts. I do. I get it. I do. But there are 7 types of people that should not be eating. It's up to them.
That's the 5th or 6th time you've mentioned that.
Yes.
Give me the specifics, please. Not that I'm denying.
No.
Not that I don't disagree, but I want the specifics.
Of the 7 types.
7 types of people.
And preferably a scripture verse to go with each one.
Oh, you really want that?
Sure, I can think of one right off the bat. If you
It's
don't eat,
slugger.
you don't. If you don't work, you don't eat. I know that.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about with receipts. You're talking about facts. So facts need to be documented. You can say such and such is a fact. Where are the receipts to back that up? How do you prove that? That's just a statement.
I know when we had our issue down here, Frank Draper, bless his heart, he got Charlie, which nobody else could get Charlie to go and get in rehab, and he got him checked in there. And then Elizabeth, she had a 1-year program that she was going to check into, but she backtracked on that, but she also moved on. And then there's the other, the couple that they're really working on, getting a CDL. They just need that temporary housing. And we got them set up with Compass. After Compass was here, I went down and gave them cards. And the rest of them got set up with Compass and were able to utilize those resources. And I did get the sheet from Sandy yesterday with housing that I haven't had a chance to make copies to give to all the business owners if they see somebody in their alleyway or see somebody walking on the square. Here's this paper. It gives them those resources. And also, are all the commissioners going to be at that meeting?
I know Jake is planning on it,
We haven't got a date yet, have we?
24th,
Huh?
Tuesday, 5:30.
The 24th.
But if all three of you guys are in there, that makes it a quorum. So then that violates sunshine law.
Kelly's going to be there too.
Kelly.
I will be there.
Just saying, because I know we have the transparency and the sunshine and every.
Proverbs 14:7.
Let's bring that one up.
Where's that gonna be at?
The Rotary Building.
Road.
That's more.
If they're not
Proverbs
making
14:7.
decisions
Right.
or voting on anything,
No, I'm just saying
it doesn't
because-
violate the sunshine
I'm
law
just
for
saying,
them
because
to be together.
in the past.
I am saying that
No, I know.
sunshine law says they can meet as long as they are not
Making
voting
decisions.
on anything or
Right.
making decisions or anything like that. So
Well, I would read that as saying that you're not supposed to listen to them. I don't know about not helping them.
Well, there you go. Then it's a definition problem. To me, that means if you have to thread a needle, then whose laws are you violating?
I would go more for, I don't recall what verse it is. I can look it up here. Do a search. If you don't work, you don't eat. I think Paul said that.
Yes, he said that too. But throughout the scriptures, Old Testament to the New Testament, even Christ himself talked about it.
5:30.
And that is what causes the entanglement or a trap that traps people into this illusion that you're really helping. It's like the old word that they used to use in AA and all these other organizations. You're either assisting them to get stronger or you are the reason they are doing what they are doing. And there's a fancy word for it.
Enabling.
Enabling. There we go.
Mhm.
So I don't want us to turn into a giant resource center that's enabling people not to achieve.
And I don't either. I will tell you, I do. I mean,
I think that's the whole goal of what Darren is trying to do, is trying to.
But he has issues of himself.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'm
I
sorry.
mean, you can't dog him for that, though.
No, and I don't.
I'm telling you,
But I'm-
you cannot
But
dog
I'm
him for
saying,
that.
Who
if
doesn't?
there's
Who doesn't
if
have
there's
issues?
no if
Everybody
there's
has
no
issues.
501 already purchased or gone through the process,
That takes
to me
up
that's
a
an
year,
issue.
though. But that takes up to. I mean, that's a governmental thing. They have a
They're waiting
government
on
shutdown.
And there we go again.
They're
We're right
waiting
back
on-
to government funds.
They're waiting on the IRS.
No, the IRS has to tell them that it's
There's a
okay.
file.
Here's your number and here's your letter that says you are now officially 501c3. That can take anywhere from 8 months to a year, possibly
Yes.
2 years. depending.
So
And they
then-
filed that. They have done those steps and they have filed that paperwork to get that process started. But like I said, once again, in the middle of it, they had a government shutdown. That's not their fault.
right. I
So
got
now
that.
they're at the hands of
But-
the government waiting
but-
to finish.
Okay, and I get
They're
what you're
in.
saying, but I'm right back to where I said. I'll say it again. I'll
you're
repeat.
concerned about government
is-
involvement.
It's government involvement.
And I-
Tax dollars, either state, local, or communities, or federal. That's where we go. And and that's just the way the nature of the beast that we're in right now. People are tired of the turning on their TV, and I'm one of them. NGOs, 20 million, fake babysitting in Minnesota, wherever. How much? $80 billion? I mean,
I
come
don't think
on.
that's the case here, though.
But, okay,
You basically, you don't want government involvement at all.
exactly.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't either.
I don't
I'll
want
tell
to
you the
go.
truth, I don't want.
I want to, if the,
But
it's,
here's
it's a
the
good
thing.
idea if the people themselves say, out of my kindness, I will fund or help this. But when you take people's money, then you're gonna always, you're gonna be at the will of the people because you're taking money from them that they did not say, I approved, I voted for this.
Well, so like the 501c3, so I'm going to write Project Homeless a $5,000 check. They're going to give me their 501c letter, then I'm going to take that to my CPA and I get a tax write-off.
Right.
So that's the importance of that.
Mhm.
Then there's also organizations like Subaru. They do a phenomenal coat program every year. But guess what? You have to have a 501c3.
Right.
Delta Dental, they do
Yes.
a phenomenal program of giving out toothbrushes and toothpastes. But you have to be a 501c3.
Right.
So in order for them to get these things from these big corporations that are willing to donate it, they have to have the 501c3.
Yes.
That just because they have a 501c3 or they're waiting on it doesn't necessarily mean the government's getting involved. It just opens up other resources for them.
Yes, it does.
What you're concerned about, and let me say this first, and then I'll address what I'm about to say. You're concerned, and I'm right there with you. Anytime government puts their hand in anything, it goes south.
Yes.
Always. There's nothing that they do that's right.
Exactly.
But when you get these grants, there are sometimes tails on the end of them.
Right.
You have to follow this and this and this and this.
Right.
My hope, my prayer, and my belief is that Darren is smart enough to know which ones he can get and which ones he can't. Because Darren, I can tell you, does not want the government involved in it either. His whole deal is a faith-based program.
Which that makes it even harder to get grants.
It does.
That's
But that's
Yes.
that's where he's coming from. So at some point, you're going to have to put the faith in the man that's behind it to do what's right. And I'll just tell you, I'm there. I mean, I am. Well, I won't even say that. I didn't know Darren. I mean, I didn't know Darren. Unfortunately, from my younger days, I knew some people that did know Darren, that Darren ran with and did some other things with.
Right.
So I have a really, really good grasp of where Darren was, a very good grasp. I've got a very close friend of mine that was involved in the same thing in Kansas City and met the Lord. His whole life changed.
Right.
If you would have known him back then, you would not have allowed him anywhere near you, near your kids, in your home, anything.
I get that. And it's not, to me, it's not about him.
No, it's not, but it is somewhat because
Well, yeah.
it doesn't make who it is. We're commissioners, but people hopefully put their faith in our character to make good decisions. Whatever you are, especially if you're in charge of an organization, your business, subby, what you do, people put faith in the person. The operation does the work. But if you have somebody in that operation that is a scumbag, it's going to go south.
Right.
It's going to.
Yes.
So for me, yeah, I don't like any grants. I want people. I mean, we got a women-owned business. I think it's crap. I don't think it should be. You should be based on merit, not whether you're a woman, not whether you're black, not whether you're Hispanic, nothing. It's on your merit.
Yes.
So we've totally gotten away from that.
Right.
So
I
you can
agree.
you can blame your government for all that. If it's not done like that, go vote. Get somebody that's not, the little guy that is out here saying, this is what I'm going to do, instead of the guy that, he looks good, he talks good, he's sharp, and he's been there for a while. That's what there's so many layers to this that it's and I didn't think so. But the further I've gotten into this, it's like, good grief. I'm still trying to figure out why this wasn't handled 5-6 years ago. Because that's where the blame is. I don't care. I may make people mad. I don't care. That is where the blame is. This happened, and people stood by and watched it, thinking, I don't want to touch it.
We don't want anything to do with it. Well, now you got to do something about it. So you either do something about it or it's going to continue and grow, because the day and age we live in, homelessness it's growing exponentially. So, I mean, anybody, and I'll just tell you, anybody that would have known me even 4 or 5 years ago and would have thought that I was on the side of this, they would have told you no way. But it was, and brutally honest, it was, dude, I'm not stupid, but I was very ignorant of the situation and everything that was going on with it. And I didn't know any facts at all. That's why I said I want to have what we're going to have over here, because, I mean, Jake and Jim, they're just like me. There's so much. I mean, we've got this in our mind that this is what it is, and this is the way it always has been, and you're not going to fix it. Well, if that's the case, you're never going to get anything accomplished. So I want to hear what they have to say. Hopefully, we can come up with a solution. Maybe that, and I think I'm pretty sure I told Darren yesterday, if something comes up and it doesn't sound right, I'm not going to be for it. I mean, I'm going to do what I think is the right thing, and that is the way I'm going to vote, and that's the way I'm going to.
And I get that, and I respect that. I do. But one question that I asked back when they closed that building down there, it was for asbestos. So who's going to be responsible to clean it up before you put people in there?
They will. That's theirs. When we turn that over, our hands are free. We got nothing to do with it.
So now they're going to have to carry the.
One of the things
cost.
there, first off, we're not there yet. We have kind of agreed on it, but just like Aaron getting it sold and different things like that, a few things that we should have done, should have put it out for bid, but we didn't. And we found that out later. But anyway, that's beside the point. And then when all the rest of it comes up, I will voice my opinion. One of the things there, if you get a solution, then you're right. You will have a lot more people because you're going to have, they've got a place to fix them. And if you can get them, but I agree, they need to go to work. Do something and make it. And just like with another, if they don't have driver's license, they don't have IDs or anything like that, we need to help them try to get them. I don't know why. The big thing is how'd they get here? And that's what I worry about. Because then the more you come, the more, if you got a place, just like here, you'll have a lot of people show up if you're going to give it everything away. And that's what people like.
Right.
Here's some statistics. A little under 1/4% of the U.S. population is homeless on any given night. And 25% of that total, which is just under 800,000 people, 25% of that is in California.
So I also want to bring in, not all grants are government funded, like the Truman Lake Foundation grant.
Mm-hmm.
That is based out of not Henry County, it's Truman Lake area study. Am I going in the right direction?
Yeah.
Based out of our 4 or 5 counties.
Yes.
So there are grants that are available that are not government-backed grants. Like I think the Skidmore Foundation, they have a grant also. But there's other grants and resources within the West Central area that they can apply for, but they have to, once again, it goes back to they have to have the 501c3.
Right.
Yes, they do put some stipulations on, like you have to, give a shout out to them or, state this grant, this project here was funded by this grant.
Right.
So it's not all government. But the one thing that creates that opening for those resources is having that 501c3. And unfortunately, they are at the hands of the government.
Right.
And like yesterday, Mark, you said that you didn't realize how much homeless was here. It's in Calhoun. It's in Windsor. It's out at Pogue Wildlife. It's in
That's what I was told.
It's all over.
Yeah.
They're just in the woods. And some of them, they've adapted and that's where they stay. They just don't come out until conservation pushes them out. And that's what happened here in Clinton. Conservation went back there and pushed them out, and they came out of the woodwork.
And yes, you have your Frankies and your Charlies. Thank God, Charlie went and seeked resources finally. But Frankie, I think everybody's just going to have to keep on to him and see if he does want, at some point want to change. But I mean, it's not just the city of Clinton or the downtown square. It has been an ongoing issue for a very, very long time. They're in their place. And I mean, if you go out, some of them, they have they've utilized their resources and have intricate, housing, I guess you'd call it housing, that they've made out of, things. And then once they were out of there, then that everything just got shoved down here, unfortunately.
So what I'm hearing then is everyone here is to make it a mandate that no federal or local or city or county funds and tax dollars will be used for this facility.
I'm not saying make it a mandate. I'm just saying
That's where we're going to disagree right there, because you see it as you will eventually.
There might be a time that there could be a grant out there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But there are several local grants here, and like the asbestos removal.
But would you make it mandatory when you get your solution? Say you get a solution, will you promise to put it in there that no federal or local tax dollars will be used without the taxpayers voting on it and getting the permission of we the people?
I don't necessarily know that you can legally do that.
Yes,
but I'm not.
If you come and you take $20 from me, that's exactly what it is, without me saying yes. If I go down the street and I give someone $20, that's me. But when someone tells me you're going to give, that's not my permission. You're stealing.
Well, if you give me $20,
you actually help me out with your taxpayer money.
Well, of course.
Because of my hearing device, I actually got almost $2,000 paid for through state grants.
Yes.
Through state money.
Did I say anything that's negative? No, I'm not saying that's negative.
Well, you're just saying that because these human beings out there, they are people.
I agree.
We're not referring to them as chickens.
I'm not saying they're not.
We're referring to them as people. I never once
said they weren't.
That's the beauty.
One couple, literally all they needed was an address for a piece of paper to be sent to them. They got the address.
Hold on, we'll go ahead. Hey, let's hold up a second. Cool it. Savvy, go ahead.
Yep, go ahead.
Let's get yours.
No, all I did was just come up here to remind you guys about Monday night at 6 o'clock at the airport.
Yeah.
We're going to be having our tabletop.
Yep.
We've got several of the communities around here. It's also on your itinerary sheet that I sent over. 6 o'clock, and this is going to be something that I don't think that the county has ever done. And I think this is going to be great practice for the entire community. So I'd like to invite you guys, if you can, make it 6 o'clock, and that's going to be at the airport.
I got it written down. I just didn't have where.
Yep.
I'd have been driving around.
Thank you, guys. That's all I had.
All right, so thank you.
In answer to your question,
Mark, you said that that's Darren's personal commitments to not accept any.
say that again.
You've mentioned before, and I've heard Darren say it, he's not going to accept any federal, state, or local tax money. He doesn't want it.
And I don't want 100%. That sounds familiar, but I don't
that's
say
what's
100%. I honestly can't remember. But as far as what you were saying about your tax money and this and that's kind of the beauty of being a republic instead of a democracy. You voted people in to make those decisions, what to do with your money.
Yes,
now,
I did.
if you don't like it, I get it. You can complain, but your best complaint is at the voting booth.
Yes,
and you get them out.
Yes.
Because you can't. Unfortunately, wish you could, because I'm trust me. You have no idea how close I am to you. We just differ. We start going down a different path a little bit.
I'm just here
I'd
to make
love
sure.
to be able to tell if I could tell our state rep or our state senators quit spending my money in the way that they're doing it, and they would listen to me. I would love it. They got voted in. I may not have voted for some of them, but it is what it is. So you're not ever, and don't anybody ever think that you're going to be able to tell the people you put in office how they're going to do their job. Because that is the biggest farce I've ever heard in my life. Show me one time where it's happened.
Right. And I get that. I do. And I'm on board with all that. I am. I have no issue with that. But what I'm looking for is the clarity of all that. And that's why I ask tough questions. That's why some people don't like it when I ask tough questions.
I think it's a good idea.
To me, goes right back to, that's why I ask the tough questions. Because I want to know what you're going to do if X situation comes up. What are you going to do? And that's part of accountability. We have a responsibility for being an informed citizen. That's constitutional.
Yes.
To be an informed citizen, to exercise that vote, and I do all those things. I want to be informed. I want to know who's there, what they're doing, what they think, that's been the problem of society. We've gotten away from encouraging people, ask a tough question, and just discuss things. Not get mad, don't get, do I get done with people? Yeah, I get done with people, and I tell them so. I'm done. But I'm not mad at you. But I see where this is going.
Back to your question, my answer for me, and I'm just speaking me, Mark Larson, not necessarily Mark Larson, Commissioner. I'm results driven.
Yes.
So in my mind, if that is something, federal grant, if there is a federal grant out there that is going to meet within the parameters of what Darren needs to make happen, to make what he's doing happen, I'm good. That's why I said it's a character issue. Because at some point, it's no different than anybody else. It's no different than us. You have to either put the trust in the people that you put in that position, or you don't. And if, for me, I mean, if he's going to take a federal grant, I'm hoping and I'm praying and I'm probably believing that he's done his due diligence to understand what comes along with that. And at that point, now you weigh the odds. It's like, because it's kind of like this down here. Is it the perfect thing? Nope, not even close. Not even close. But that doesn't outweigh the fact of more people coming with no outlet, without a doubt.
And that's why you also
But
have
The
board,
problem
too.
we have, we got too
Not
many
just one person,
people.
there's a board.
Listen,
Right.
everybody here don't want them at your house. I mean, that's essentially what I'm saying. I mean, and I don't either. Just
Yeah.
like business.
Yeah.
I don't want them there. Too much thievery goes on in all of those cases. That's
Well,
what
and I
happens.
think people also forget, there are also some of them as sex offenders, and that's another concern at the old jail is when we have old glory days.
Yep.
How many teenagers, run around here without parental supervision? I mean, like, I'm not talking like little kids, but your teenagers, the teenage kids, and on Friday nights, how many
One thing,
teenage kids?
Darren bothered me. Darren, well, if they do something wrong, then we can lock them up. Well, the problem
That's
is
not-
you wait till they do that, and it's going to happen
Right.
because of what's going on.
But they're
When
already.
they go to knocking on the
What
double
are you gonna do?
windows of a car,
I
that's
get what
money.
No,
everybody's
I
saying.
understand they're
What are
already
you
here,
gonna
but when
do
you
to
have them
do-
right here,
Yes.
But the ones that
You're
are
asking.
housed are in a program, they are the ones that are wanting to get out of this. They're not housing the schlubs of the group. They're housing the people that want to make their life better. The schlubs are the ones that are still walking out here, and they're going to be here whether that happens or it doesn't. Unless somebody's got some magic wand that they can wave and all of a sudden they're gone.
they typically don't. They're not the ones that don't want the help. That are Clinton ones. They're typically not around the square during major events or anything. But I think what everybody's saying is if you have that, then there's going to be an influx of people, whether they're in that program or not, and then they're going to be hanging around here.
But why?
I mean, we can all sit here and
I-
debate it all day long.
Since we're talking
Let me
facts, tell me
Yes.
how
right.
and why more people are going to come just because there's an area that people that are in wanting help are being housed there. How does that bring more people unless they also want to get into that program? It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. You're everybody seems to be missing the whole issue here. More people are coming. They're going to come. It's not going to end. If you don't have an outlet, they build up. Just because you have that outlet doesn't mean it's going to bring more people unless they want help. They're going to come no matter what.
And I get that too.
So what's the solution?
Can I use the example that you used? And everybody here, we've been hitting it, but we're not hitting it. The accountability will come to me when we recognize if, like you said, if he decides that he wants to use a federal grant, that to me is the issue. Because here's why. 10 years ago, there used to be a merit-based issue with federal grants for this type of work. And that was, you earned a right. You have to do this, 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 and this. Well, a certain group went in and said, no, you can't force people to do this, this, and this, this, because that violates their rights. If they want to be a slum, they can be a slum. So we have to strike that part off the federal grant. And that's the issue. One of them is that issue. And that issue that she mentioned. But the issue is, the issues keep piling up. If we use federal grants, and now we know, look it up, don't believe me, I'm just a nobody here, but look it up, federal grants have no merit-based anymore. They don't have to perform for you to receive this money. They can do what they want and still get.
Right. There we go. We're back to what I said originally. The entity doesn't have to meet those requirements anymore to get that grant. That doesn't mean Darren doesn't still do the things that would have been what they had to meet. So your point is null.
No, it's not. It's still valid.
If you walk down there, and that's you look at the way that this place is run, trust me. I think that you were in the Army or Navy or something. Air Force. Okay. So you know what basic training is. That's it. Right down there. Trust me.
And I see that. Trust me. I've been involved with all this long before anybody here. I was. And I've seen it. And it goes right back to what you're saying and I'm saying. It depends on the person running it. If they see that they can get a federal grant without a merit-based etiquette moral clause, that you have to go do these things and guidance for them to do those things, to stick around, okay, but maybe the solution is not in town. Maybe there's something else that we should be looking at instead of here.
So is the issue with Darren, or is the issue?
The issue's not with Darren. I didn't bring this up because of Darren. I brought this up because I know I've been around this type of stuff before, many thousands of times.
Well, see, and that's why they have a board. You know, when you get those grant funds, you have a board, and you can't just be like, oh, okay, you know, we got $10,000. I'm going to go write a check, and I'm going to buy $500 worth of clothes for me. I'm going to go and buy $500 worth of clothes for him. You have a board, and you have to answer to that. And also, when you're a nonprofit, you also have to follow Sunshine Law, and your books are, you have to file taxes. You have to explain where all that money is going. You can't just go willy-nilly it. So, I mean, it goes back to...
I understand that.
It goes back to what Mark said. Just because A over here doesn't say you have to do A, B, C, D, and E, doesn't mean that B over here doesn't already do those things. Just because it's not a requirement here, they might already be doing those things and have those precedents. And they have a board that they have to answer to.
I think what he's saying is that right now, Darren would run a tight ship. Darren dies tomorrow in a car accident. They get another leader in there. He's got a bleeding heart. and all of a sudden the standards are gone.
Well, we can go on a lot of what ifs.
Well, but I'm just saying that sounds like what.
I do understand.
And that's what-
it should be
And that's what I'm getting at. There's too many what ifs.
But how-
You could revoke the.
You can have all the procedures.
You could revoke the zoning for the program.
Well, here's a solution. Have a second in charge. Who is Darren's second person? Like, I know he has traveled out of town before, so who is in charge when he's not? It's kind of like school system. You have a principal and a vice principal. So Darren's principal. Who's going to be the vice principal? Oh, you're fine.
Y'all doing good. I'll just-
I don't know what their structure's like.
But do you see what I'm saying? Because then that is, if he got, if he sat right here and had a heart attack, then there's a second, yes.
Over 5 minutes.
So we can sit here and debate all the what ifs all day long. There's no
but
perfect.
Hey, I got
just
one
so-
question. Do you still use Massey Ferguson tractors?
I'm sorry.
Do you still use Massey Ferguson
Oh, yeah,
tractors?
I've still got a 1957, so.
Well, your money put me through college.
Good. I'm glad.
My dad was in charge of combine development for the World Field,
Oh, okay.
corporate headquarters in Canada.
I'm just so you know, the public will know everything. I ran on transparency. I'm probably one of the most unfortunately transparent people you'll ever meet. Sometimes to my demise, but whatever is discussed, once it's discussed and over, I plan on having written that or whatever in some.
So there will be minutes or something of a report that will come
Yes,
out.
Kelly
Kelly
will
will
be
be
there.
there. She has to be there with us. So,
Morning, Kelly.
but
I don't know that there will be minutes. Okay, so I have a problem with that because just because every time we go to educate ourselves at a meeting, you go to West Central Commissioner
Mhm.
meetings, they're all three together. That doesn't mean that minutes have to be taken so that you all know what they got educated on. That's not.
And that's.
I mean, that's
I'm-
it's literally an education.
Yes.
That's
And
almost micro.
I get that.
To a degree.
Exactly. And
But-
I'm not saying that we shouldn't be transparent, but you guys should not be expected every time you go to a meeting to learn about something that minutes are taken and they have to be published to the world.
Right.
If I did that every time I have training every other week at 2:00, you guys could fall into something like that too. And that's just not, it's
Right.
not what is
No, I
supposed to
agree.
happen
I
or
agree.
meant to happen or what micromanage.
And I.
Right.
That's where I
Well,
was going.
no.
All I'm looking at,
Everybody's on
That's
the
all.
whole.
I'm-
They're
I'm-
getting together.
Right.
They have to.
I'm not looking at that. I'm looking
That's
at
why.
my
That's why
part,
Rex did this on
informed
record.
citizen.
The clarification of it.
Yeah.
And I can't do that unless I'm informed.
And I agree.
That's all I'm looking at. I don't care if it's called minutes or a summary.
I had made the comment. One of you is going to have to remind me because I think I did. That
You
my
come back with this
after
summary.
this is all said and done, my Northside Commissioner Facebook page will be putting out basically what has transpired, all the information that I can, and what hopefully are because even after that is done, we're going to have to come back and talk. We're
Right.
still going to have to come back and talk.
Right.
And then that's where it would be.
Right. At that point, that will be in
Yes.
the minutes. The other, but I will tell you, I'm pretty sure I said that yesterday.
Yeah, you
I,
did.
Yeah.
I am going to put that out. So, because I think the public needs to know. I just don't think they need to be involved in everything. Because I don't think.
That's why they entrusted. When you vote for your
It-
leaders, you entrust them.
It could
But
go
then we
long
can't throw up barriers and say, my job stops because the citizens, by constitutional law, must be informed. To exercise my right to vote, I have to also exercise to be informed.
Right.
And
That's
what
all I'm
he-
saying.
That's what he would be doing is he'd
Yeah.
be going to a meeting and then coming back being informed, just like the West Central Board. He goes to those meetings and he brings that information back. Because the bottleneck would be if they came back and reported every meeting or had minutes for every meeting, then you'd be bottlenecking and this whole meeting every Tuesday and Thursday
But
would be
what
bottlenecked
is
with all
called-
these other reports. They're coming back and they're giving the summary.
But what is called a bottleneck to some is violating the the very constitution of an informed citizen. Because I can declare that I hold a secret meeting because it's to be informed. I'm exercising the leadership role to be informed. But I also have to go back to my troops and I have to inform them. I have to give them that summary so that they know, just because someone comes out and said, take X hill. Well, the responsible thing is my boss tells me, take your troops and go take X hill. And I'm not going to say to him, why? I will tell my troops we're taking X hill. Now, en route, I may go back to my boss and say, can you clarify? Why? What's the purpose? That's informed. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I was not disrespectful to my leader. I was not disrespectful. I fulfilled both options. I informed my troops. I informed my leader. I got clarity from my leader. I never violated his role as the leader, and I never violated my role as the leader, the direct leader, the
And that's
one
what
that's
they-
going to take it.
And that's what they're doing. You just explained. They are our
That's right.
leaders, and we are the troops. So they are
Yes.
going and they are getting the information,
Yes.
and then they're coming back to us, and that's what he's explaining about that meeting.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's all I want.
Well, I think Mark's going to do that on his Facebook page and also at the commissioners meeting. And he's addressed that and said he's going to do that.
Well, I'm glad I enlightened your day today with my sunshiny face in my coffee deprived moment.
Is everybody done?
I'm good.
I am.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
How many more? How many you got?
Not very many,
Five.
5, 6, something like that.
Oh,
Is that all you guys going to do?
No.
Approve and then be
He didn't
done?
get along with the tractor.
Are you guys just going to do approvals and
this.
then?
I did.
Yeah.
We don't have any other business.
got 5 or
He
6.
was
Oh,
I got a couple of things
That's why I
or
wouldn't
things
do
that I
this,
needed to proof for.
All right.
I don't
they just wanted
And Massey-
have anything. You guys don't have anything either, right?
No, no, I don't.
See you later.
We can do this out of session if you want.
No, I got, the one thing that
I wish I
I,
would.
Anyway,
I didn't get to address, the
Eventually.
FAQ that you have, if you look over it, I'm gonna pull it and do some changes that I need to change. But if you guys see something you don't like, something you do like, or something you wanna add, let me know. I'm going to be working on this to make it for us.
In 72 when they.
The other thing is,
They did-
I do have a
Yes, but they weren't taking-
draft of the
I
Davis
skipped.
Township contract was dropped off at the
Yeah,
office.
me too. I still have a draft card.
I'll make a copy for each one of you. Did I email this to you? I think I scanned it in. I don't remember. But anyways, Jake isn't here, to do anything with this. But I think you guys definitely need to look at it. I didn't know if you needed to send it somewhere else.
Well,
or-
probably we need to really go through it because Johnson County's a pretty good sized county. A lot of people.
What do you, not
Oh,
that,
there's,
not that.
actually, I read this, other than changing,
Percentages and
Right.
the
Yeah.
big difference between us and Johnson County is there a 0% or a 5%.
yeah,
So obviously some of the language in there would have to change and some
Right.
things would be different. Basically, not reinventing the wheel, using the same
Right.
statutes and the same things that she's using
Yeah.
because all the law's the same for everybody
Right.
across the state. So.
Gentlemen, I'll get out of your way. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
take care.
Y'all have a good day.
Have a good day.
I actually went down and talked to Scott yesterday too, about, we probably need, what do you guys call it, a work session thing over that 756. So that if we are gonna make any changes in our ordinance,
we only have to make it one time. And then everything else that comes up that's small, we could just deal with on an individual basis.
Simple.
Yeah, yeah. But I told him, Jim, I told him I'd tell you, but I told us it would have to be when Jake gets
Come
back. Yeah, yeah. I like these easy ones. Do you know what the CIT is?
So what means
CIT?
CIT? What's that stand for?
I have no idea, but it's I know Robbie's on it, Sherry Close is on it. I just don't, I can't remember what it's at.
It's a compassionate compassionate intervention training or something
Is
like
that it?
that. It's something to that.
I never could figure out what it stood for.
It's something to that effect. I can't remember. It's a training a lot of times that law enforcement will go to
Yeah,
to help de-escalate situations and things like that, rather than
Did West Hamlin get this in?
No, it was not
CIT
Wes.
to me, and I'm thinking California Institute of Technology.
weren't you going to that?
I think it was Brian, whoever from
Over there?
B. I know it's a B.
Okay.
Brad.
Oh, no.
Crisis intervention training. I think that's what it is. Crisis intervention. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Okay.
Do I know where?
Yeah.
I don't know when they do it.
Well, today at 1:00,
Oh.
Robbie asked me to come, but I don't, and I think he told me where, but I don't remember.
Crisis. That's what it is.
Yeah, I remember that now. That's crisis intervention training. We're mentioning that in their monthly report.
And I just wanted, I hope I wasn't. I wanted to mention that about meetings, that you guys go to meetings and you go to trainings, and this is an educational thing. That doesn't mean that you're taking actions on behalf of the county, and that meeting minutes have to be taken because, I just wanted to make sure that was clarified, because just because you three ran into each other at the gas station doesn't mean that
We used to. It was a big thing too. Well, we need to do this. Let's see, Jake.
He's gonna sign
I
it.
don't, I
He'll
wouldn't,
probably be back next week.
yeah, I wouldn't do it without Jake.
But no, I'm not. He's got to sign it anyway.
So, with that contract, we also sent an invoice, so I
Oh,
guess
really?
we're good to do that. Okay. I just wanted, that's yours, that's not mine. I made you $200. I made you that. $200.
Oh, well,
So, I just wanted to make sure that was good to go. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, Jim, I do. I got an opioid thing that needs a signature again. I
okay.
have it pulled up on my screen rather than me emailing it to you and then you trying to figure it all out. I
Yes.
figured I'd just help you out while you're here.
That'd be a lot simpler. Because that's one of the deal. And usually it comes up with signature on it. They make their own.
Oh, I was only gonna do it while you were here. I wasn't gonna do it for you, so.
Oh,
I'm not signing your name to anything.
Don't you have any electronic version of his signature you can just cut and paste over on the sign line?
I ain't doing that.
that's what I usually have.
I have a JPEG of my signature.
No, I don't wanna sign it. Why is my signature coming
Maybe.
in? Got it.
Hmm?
Required signature applied. Nope, maybe it is me.
Well, it has been served to the county clerk,
Well, I got
because I know
one
what
that
time it's. Rick, I think. Because we get a lot of it. See what it says.
doesn't say. Well, I got one that said it was a copy because I wasn't the signer. But now it's telling me I am the signer. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'll sign whatever. But
Well, there you go. See, and you did it. Had me all hyped up.
well,
Good job. Good
I
job.
don't know. I ain't signing things like this without permission.
Okay, 22nd, 24th, I asked him about that. Okay,
Well, that's done.
I'll wait till Tuesday to do this.
Yeah.
I'll try to tell Jake whenever I can about meeting 22nd, because that's one where they, and I don't know whether we have to go to Harrisville or they pick us up somewhere.
I thought that's what he said.
Huh?
I think that's what he said.
Then go to Moline and stay all night one night.
Those are done.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dennis is planning on coming up today, so
Don't think so. How's he planted? Well, no, when she goes doctor day,
no, she went yesterday.
yesterday. When
No,
I
she
found
went
out,
the day before Tuesday. She went
when I seen, yesterday, I thought I was going to see him
next week.
next week. She
Yeah,
goes
she goes back next
to see if it's pin slipped or something. If it healed back all right, hopefully I don't have to do anything. Otherwise, they're gonna have to replace the shoulder.
Yeah, she
you know,
busted
Yeah,
up
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
not good.
But he said if it doesn't shift or move and it starts healing by next week, they're not going to do surgery or anything. So
That's good.
luckily it didn't bust off. I do believe he said he wasn't going to be here today. So
Okay, do I entertain a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that. Motion been made, second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.